Midterm elections just a few months away, can you believe it? And that's when control of Congress is going to be up for grabs. Democrats hoping to retake the House, and you would think the Democratic National Committee chair, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, would be on board with that. But last week she told Politico, quote, "I'm not going to confidently predict that Democrats will take the House back." Joining me now, Chris Plante, radio talk show host of The Chris Plante Show, and Leslie Marshall, syndicated radio talk show host. Maybe, Leslie, Debbie Wasserman Schultz had seen this CBO report, and then she knew that maybe that's why she couldn't confidently say that Democrats might take back the House. Your thoughts?
Well, quite frankly, I think that she's looking at numbers, but not those numbers. I mean, voting is certainly, and elections are a numbers game. You have to look at what constituencies are up for grab, what is the demographic and composite of those constituencies. And when you look at the House and the Senate, it's easier to hold on to a handful of seats in the Senate than it is to go after more than a dozen seats in the House. I think she's being realistic, and I think a lot of Democrats are on board with let's hold on to the Senate and let's not be overly confident if we don't have the numbers to take control of the House.
Except, Chris, that the picture in the Senate for Democrats is not a rosy one right now. You have more and more senators who don't want to show up at events with President Obama, who are going away from key legislative initiatives of this president, like trade and energy, and certainly health care. So how do you see the picture in the Senate?
Well, the Senate is in play, and the Republicans, if they don't screw things up again, may very well take control of the Senate as well. I hope that that's their ambition. In the House of Representatives and with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, I mean, what do they expect her to say? You remember Baghdad Bob, Saddam Hussein's spokesman, who stood there declaring that the Yankees were on the run while American tanks were driving through his ears and the screen behind him? I assume that's what they want out of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She committed the classic Washington gaffe. She accidentally told the truth, and she's being pilloried for stating the obvious truth. Nobody thinks the Democrats are going to take control of the House back. She told the truth, and she's being attacked for not lying. I mean, that's how far we've gone down the rabbit hole in this city, that not lying gets you in trouble with your own people.
All right, I got to turn to New Jersey now, because New Jersey Governor Chris Christie appeared on a radio show and once again making it clear, according to him, that he had no prior knowledge of those bridge lane closures. Listen to this.
The most important issue is, did I know anything about the plan to close these lanes? Did I authorize it? Did I know about it? Did I approve it? Did I have any knowledge of it beforehand? And the answer is still the same. It's unequivocally no.
Well, now actress Sarah Jessica Parker, whose parents live in the Garden State, weighing in on Governor Christie's reaction to the allegations, saying, quote, "What you have to say is the fish stinks from the head down. I am a leader, and I set the tone in an office," speaking of Christie, "that made this seem somehow acceptable." So, Leslie, what do you make now of Hollywood getting involved? I mean, she wasn't specifically on the show to talk about this. She was on to talk about something else, but the issue came up because she said she follows politics.
Well, first of all, living and sitting right now about 20 minutes from Hollywood, we're certainly used to that here in Los Angeles. And we all know that celebrities, George Clooney with Darfur and some other political issues in the past, celebrities do speak out. But I do have to say, Gretchen, I was surprised because I do look to Sarah Jessica Parker and her character of Carrie on Sex and the City for advice on Manolo Blahniks and shoes that she came out saying this about Chris Christie. But I do think that there are people on the left and the right that find it very precarious that a governor who's so hands-on would know nothing. And this isn't just Democrats who feel this way.
All right, Chris, I'll let you take a stab at that.
Well, you know, Sarah Jessica Parker was on a Little Watch show on a Little Watch network on your cable dial where they are engaged in a feeding frenzy.
Okay, it was pretty popular, Chris, but continue.
No. I'm talking about the show she was on where she made these comments.
Okay.
Not Sex and the City, but the show that she was on where she made these comments. And at that Little Watch station, there is an absolute feeding frenzy. And I think they ask the passing janitorial staff where they stand on Chris Christie, as long as they have something negative to say about him. This jihad that they're on over there about Chris Christie has just reached the point where, hey, Sarah Jessica Parker's here. Let's see what she thinks about Chris Christie. It's theater of the absurd, which I guess is nothing new, but we keep spiraling down further and further.
Well, we'll see who else is going to comment on it, because you just never know. Chris and Leslie, thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Gretchen.
Thank you, Gretchen.